Very good morning everyone. In our previous video we have completed unit number 4 half portion related with the pointer. In our today's session we are going to start with the console IO operations. So let us start with the theoretical portion of console IO operations. In this unit we are going to refer C++ streams, C++ stream classes, unformatted input output, formatted input output, and use of manipulators. Basically first two concept we will see with the help of theory and unformatted IO and formatted IO as well as use of manipulators. These three are the topic which we will see with the help of practical performances, right. So let us start with the C++ stream classes. Now what is stream? A stream is nothing but it is a kind of device in which input and output operations can be performed. That means when you want to perform input and output operations, at that time you can use different kinds of stream. You can also think the stream as a series of bytes. So when you want to perform any input output operations, at that time you can use streams and it can be nothing but it is a series of bytes. Generally when you are going to enter data, it flows from source to destination through a medium. That means using a stream, whether it is input stream or it is output stream, but data flows from source to the destination. The source and destination can be any devices such as keyboard, mouse or other display units, as well as file also can be considered as a kind of stream. Now let me revise that 4 points once again. A stream is nothing but whatever the operations, whether it is input operation or output operation, that can be performed using stream. You can refer stream as a series of bytes, and generally the data which you entered can be traveled from source to the destination. Now source and destination can be considered as a either input device or as a output device. So you can use any input or output device to represent stream. Generally input stream is nothing but it is a source stream that provides data to the program. Similarly output stream is nothing but it is a destination stream through which you are able to get data from the program. So when you in short, program fetch data from the input stream and puts data into the output stream. So when the theory question is there that write a short note on C++ stream, at that time what is the first point which you are going to write? A stream represents a device in which input or output operations can be performed. You can also think as a series of bytes. The data generally travel from source to the destination, and source and destination can be any devices such as keyboard or mouse or any screen that you are going to use. Now see from the figure over here we are having input devices. This represents stream. As we have talked that stream is nothing but it is a sequence of bytes. So when you input some data using input stream or input device, at that time that data gets from the input stream and it is inputted into the program. After writing program, it inserts data onto the output stream. Again, the data which comes into output stream will display in the output device. So in this way you can use the C++ stream classes, which is divided into two types. Number one, input stream and output stream. Input stream is nothing but it is a collection of bytes. Using input device, you are able to input data into the input stream. Then you can write the program with the help of input stream. After program, when you are going to compile, at that time it inserts data into the output stream, and after output stream data is displayed on the output device. So this is a figure which is related with the C++ stream. Now there are several classes which you can use in the C++ stream classes. The base class for all the classes is called iOS and in our all the programs which is based on the C++, we just need to include header file iostream.h. So this is the stream classes which contained inside the iostream.h. There are various types of classes for input and output, and that classes is known as stream classes. Let me read out the points. In C++, there are so many classes available to handle various input and output streams. These classes are known as stream classes. The stream classes are contained in the iostream.h header file. Now iOS is a base class which is divided into the three subclasses. One stands for input stream, that is called iStream. One stands for OStream, that is output stream. When you are going to combine iStream plus OStream, it forms iOStream, and one is called StreamBuff. So from the name itself you are able to understand that this particular stream class is used for the input stream, this particular class works for the output stream, this particular class works for the input and output stream. StreamBuff is a class which is used for the memory, and iStream with assign, iOStream with assign, and OStream with assign, these all are the classes which is derived from the iStream, iOStream and OStream. So this is a hierarchical structure of different types of classes. Let me repeat it once again. We need to start with the iOS base class, which is divided into the three portions. Number one, iStream. Number two, StreamBuff. Number three, OStream. When you are going to combine the functionality of iStream and OStream class, it becomes iOStream, and you can use StreamBuff for the memory, or it provides you the buffer facility. When iStream is there, at that time you will get derived class which is called iStream with assign, iOStream with assign, and OStream with assign. So this is a hierarchical representation of classes. Now over here we are having one table which contains the name of class and the description regarding the class. First class is called iOS class, which is a base class for all the classes which is related with the stream. So iOS general input stream classes that contains basic functionality for input and output operations. It also contains the functions and constant used to handle formatted IO operations. iStream is used for the input functionality, OStream is used for the output functionality. iOStream is a collection of iStream, OStream and iOS. You are able to see the lines which goes from the iStream, OStream, and IO is the base class for both. So you can refer iOS, iStream, iOStream, iOS, OStream and iOStream. So when you are going to use iOStream, at that time iOS is the grandfather class, and iStream and OStream both are referred as a father or mother or parent class, and iOStream is derived class. As we have talked, StreamBuff is a buffer provided for the interface to physical input and output device. So these all are the description of classes for which purpose it is used. There are two types of I/O. Number one, unformatted input output and formatted input output. Right? So we are starting with the formatted input output, then we will see the programs which are related with the unformatted input output. So today we are starting with the programs which are related with the format input output. There are very small programs which is based on the formatted input output, which we are going to complete today, and in our next session we are going to study regarding the unformatted I/O operations. Right, this is very easy program, so I am taking formatted input output first, and then we will see the program which are related with unformatted input output. So let us go inside the Turbo C editor to perform the practicals based on the formatted input output. Example of formatted input output. You need to include two header files, iostream.h and has include conio.h. We are going to directly write the structure of void main, then clear screen and get ch. Now see over here how the functions can be used. I am going to write cout dot width of 4. Now cout 50, cout 156 and \n. So let me give comment line for the width. It will store in sequence without separation. First of all, let me complete the program so that you can bifurcate the functions. Will store separate space for each. That means cout dot width of 4, cout 50, cout again width of 4, cout 156 and \n. Now if field is smaller than the width of display data, the field is automatically expanded. That means cout width of 2. That means we are going to occupy the space by 2, but I am going to store, sorry, over here I need to use dot because width is a function which you can use with cout and you need to apply dot sign over there. Now I am going to print 5000. So over here you can see that 5000 number contains 4 digit, so width should be of 4, but over here I have declared the width or size of my outing statement is of 2, but cout contains 4 digit. In that case it will automatically expand the field based on the data. Let me save the program. This is the example of formatted I/O operations and this is the program number 1. So f1.c++. Let us execute the program. See over here, first of all, in first case it allocates 4 digit for the 50 variable. That means what happens in the memory, 4 boxes are initialized for the next cout statement. So over here last 2 digit would be filled with the 50 and next output on the same line would be of 156. Now see, over here for the 50 and 156 I have created separate space. That means 1 2 3 4 for the first cout and 1 2 3 4 for second cout. Now what is the value of first cout? That is 50. And what is the value of next cout? That is 156. So you will get output like this over here, 2 space 50 again space 156, because it occupies 4 box for this and 4 box for this. In this case only it occupies 4 box for the 50. So you will get output like this. First of all 2 space, then 50 and then 156 in first output. In next output 2 space 50, 1 space and 156. Let us check the output once again. See over here, it occupies 2 space for the first particular line and then output is merged. In the second space it will occupy 2 space, then 50, again 1 space, then 156. See, suppose my number is like this one, I am making correction. So I have declared width as a 4 and I am going to store 4 values in this. Then what will be the output? Double space 50 1 5 6 1. Got it? Suppose I am going to add 1 over here. At that time output would be like this, only 1 space, then 150 1561. So this is the width function which you can use. Width provides you the facility to display your data in the form of formatted output. Again I am going to repeat the code. In first line I have taken width as a 4, so it will occupy 4 space in the memory, and then how many numbers I am going to print? That is 50. So remaining 2 space is occupied as a empty space, but over here I have not declared any width, so it will be merged with this particular number. In this case we have used 2 different width functions. For the first number we have used 150, so it will put only 1 space. For the second number we have used 4 numbers, so it will not put any space. Similarly, if I am going to remove 1 number, at that time it will put 1 space over here and it will print on the screen. Similarly, I have also taken one width example which contains smaller bit size than the actual digit. So over here we are having number 5000 which contains 4 digit, but we specify the width limit by 10. So in such cases the field is automatically expanded by the size. So this is the first program which is related with the formatted input output, and that function is called as cout.width. Because it is formatted, that's why we can use it with the help of cout function. Let us take new program. Again we are going to represent example of formatted input output. We are going to see 4 programs based on the formatted input output. This is the second program, has include iostream.h and has include conio.h. Void main clr ser and get ch cout dot precision. Precision means after point how many digit you want to display. That thing you can set with the help of precision function. So that function can be used with the cout 5.23, that is the first number which we want to display. Then 10.125, this is the second digit which we want to display. Then again I am going to use cout dot precision, going to set one precision, that means after point I want to see only a single digit. So cout backslash n 5.70, cout backslash n 4.003, cout dot precision, over here let me correct the spelling, precision I am going to set the precision by 3. One more function I am going to apply, that is width by 7, and going to print 8.2356. Let me save the program. Program number 2 related with the formatted input output. So in this particular program we have learned regarding precision. Precision function is nothing but when you want to set the decimal point fraction point after any number, at that time you can use precision function. First of all I have set it with 2, so in this case it will print simple number. Okay, in this case it will print 10.13 because the third digit is more than 5 or more than 5. At that time it will automatically add 1 in the previous number. That is the rule of maths. So this line will print 5.23 and this print 10.13. Again I am going to repeat this particular output. This particular line will print 10.13 because it will skip the third number and it will check the third number is 5 or more than 5. At that time it will automatically add 1 in the previous number. So over here the output would be 10.13. Now next precision we have set, that is 1. So over here it will print 5.7 and in this case it will print 4. Why? Because after 4 we are not having, after point we are not having any digit, so 0 is automatically skipped. Now see, output is on the same line. Why? Because we have not used backslash n sign over here. Now what we have performed, we have taken the width by 7. So let me calculate this number, 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. So this is a 6 digit, right? And how many number, how many precisions we have setted, that is of 3. So it will print 2 3 and 6 because this number is more than 5. So it will automatically add one number into this. So output would be 8.236. But how many numbers are there? That is 5. And how many width we have decided? 7. So after 4 it will put 2 space and then it will print 8.236. Let me repeat. See, you can compare it that 2 space has been left from the 5.7 also. point and 7 is skipped, and after 7 you are able to see that 8 is print after 7, right? So in this way you can check the output. I am going to repeat this program once again. First of all, in first program we have taken the example of formatted IO and the function width function, which will specify the size of your numbers. Over here we have taken the size as a 4, so it will put 2 space and then it will print 2 numbers. In this particular example, we have declared individual width for both the numbers. So 4 space will be putted for the 150 number and 4 space put for the 156. Over here we have taken the example by 50 only. Now what happens, in this particular example we have set the width by 2. So remember one thing, that when there is a larger number then the size of you have specified, at that time the field is automatically expanded. So this is the first program. Now this is the second program, which is related with the precision. Precision is nothing but after point how many digits you want to display, that digit or that number you can specify using precision. I have specified 2 over here. So in first cases we are having 2 numbers after point, so it will print that number as it is. Over here the third digit is 5 or more than 5, so it will automatically add one number in the previous number. So output would be 10.13 in this case. Next precision we have set it, that is 1. So over here it will print 5.7. In this case after point we are having 0. So there is no value of 0 after point. So it will not display that value or that number. Then we have set the precision by 3. So naturally after point 3 numbers are considered. So 2 and 3, that is okay, but 5 is there. So when you are going to use 5, so 6 is going to be skipped. So it will automatically add one more number into the 5. So it will print 8.236. But before printing we have set the width of this particular number by 7, and we are having only 5 numbers, so it will put 2 space before the number and then it will print 8.236. Remember one thing, over here I have not used \n, so it will print in the continuation of line. So this is the second program. Let me take one new file. Example of formatted input output. Sorry, we need to include two header file, iostream.h and conio.h. Now void main. This is a very simple programs which are based on the formatted input output. We are just going to use the functions which are provided by the cout or cin. Right now we are using cout functions. So cout.fill single quotation and whatever the symbol you want to print, that symbol you can specify with the single quote. Then cout dot width of 5 and then cout 50. So now what happens, how many width we have specified, that is of 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 will be stored in the memory. How many numbers we are going to print, that is 2 number. So last 2 digit would be filled with the 50. So remaining 3 spaces are there. So if you don't want to put space as it is, at that time you can put or you can fill that space with the specified character or symbol. So 3 asterisk sign will be printed on the screen. I am going to repeat this particular code once again. We have specified the width by 5. So in the memory it will put 5 space for the printing. Now how many digit we are going to print? That is 2 digit, 5 and 0. So it will print 5 and 0. Now which function we have used? Fill function. Fill function fills the empty space by the specified digit or by specified symbol. Over here we have taken asterisk sign, so it will print 3 asterisk, then 5 and then 0. So instead of space you will get particular symbol. Let me save the file by formatted IO 3. So f3.c++ and 3 asterisk sign and 50 will be printed. So suppose if I don't want to use asterisk sign, I want to print dollar sign, at that time you can replace it inside fill function and it will be printed on the screen. Suppose I am going to increase the width of numbers by 10. In such cases 8 dollar sign will be printed and last 2 digit will be filled by the 50. So in this way you can use fill function. One more program we are going to refer with the formatted IO. Example of formatted input output has include iostream.h, has include conio.h, void main, clrscr and getch. I am going to declare one integer variable a equals to 15, cout dot set f ios hexadecimal comma ios base field cout a variable cout dot unsetf ios hexa and cout a. Let me save the program. Formatted operation 4. Let us execute. You will get f and then 15 as a number. How this output is set? Now over here, see, we are having two functions, setf and unsetf. Setf means we are going to set flag and unsetf means we are going to unset the flag. Now how flag can be set? Setf contains two arguments. Number one, iOS, then that is a base class, then scope resolution operator, and then hexadecimal code. So for that we have used HEX. Now what is the hexadecimal number? See, it represents 0 to 9 numbers, then A, B, C, D, E and F. So this refers to 10. A means 10, B means 11, C means 12, D means 13, E means 14 and F means 15. So when you are going to set a flag as a hexadecimal code, at that time the variable A contains 15, but I want to print that number into the hexadecimal code. For that I have setf function which contains two arguments. This is called base field. When you want to set any flag by the hexa or binary or octal or any numbers, at that time first of all you need to set IO as base field, and over here instead of hexa you can use OCT. I will explain the theory of setf, so don't worry regarding such. Right now our base field is declared as a hexa, so the value of A equals to 15, which will print the F. Why? Because we have set at flag as a hexadecimal. Suppose over here I have taken 13. In such cases it will print D on the screen. See over here, it will print D, and after that whatever the flag we have setted, I want to unset. So you can unset it using single argument, and whatever the name of flag you have used, that thing you need to apply. Suppose you have used binary, at that time you need to unset F binary. Right now I have set at hexa, so I have unset hexacode. So after unsetting, it will print original value of A, and original value of A is 13. So it will print 13 on the screen. Similarly, if I am going to use 10 over here, at that time it will print A10 in that case. So in this way you can use different kinds of functions which are available in the C++ for formatted input output. We have seen total 5 functions which represents formatted input output. In first program we have taken the example of width function. In second example we have taken the example of precision function. In third example we have taken the example of fill function, and in the last program we have seen setf function, unsetf function. Setf is nothing but you are going to set the flag by hexa, binary, octal or decimal. These 4 are the types of numbers, right? So that can be used with a base field. So that flag you need to set using setf function, which contains 2 arguments. One is called base field, another is called hexadecimal, octal, binary or decimal. That flag you can set over here. When you set this particular flag, at that time based on this particular flag it will print the value of A. Right now the value of A is declared as a 10. So it will convert this number 10 into the hexadecimal number, and hexacode is, when hexacode is displayed, 10 equals to A in the hexadecimal code. So it will print A on the screen. Similarly, when you are going to apply unsetf function, at that time whatever the flag you have setted, it will remove that particular flag and normal number will be printed. And what is the value of A? That is 10. So it will print A10 on the screen. Similarly, suppose 15 is there, at that time hexacode for 15 is F. So using this line it will print F, and using this line it will print 15 on the screen. So in this way output is printed. Now see, you are having manipulators in C++. See, this is a very small programs which we are going to see, right? That's why we have taken 5 different programs based on the formatted IO operations. These small programs can be asked in the exam in the 2 marks, right? So be careful regarding such. Now last program of today's session, example of manipulators. Remember one thing, that the programs which is related with the manipulator, that we have already discussed in the previous session also, right? So you can refer that, and over here also I am going to explain, because it is there in the syllabus and which can be asked in 3 or 5 mark questions. Has include iostream.h and has include conio.h. Now remember one thing, that when you want to use the programs which is related with the manipulators, at that time one more file you need to include, that is iomanip.h, because we are going to use IO, that is input output, and use of manipulators. So for that we need to use iomanip.h. Then and then only we are able to use the functions which are declared inside the iomanip.h. Clear screen and getch. These two are the functions which we always write. F float variable a equals to 15.86. Now see, you can predict the output. I don't want to use dot operator, that's why with the cout set w is a function. Right now in previous program we have studied three different functions, forgot setf and unsetf, right? But right now we have basically used width, precision and fill. So for that we are having set w 10. So 10 space will be occupied 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 using set w. Set w stands for set width. Then again set precision. Precision means after point I want to display 3 numbers. And at last set fill, single quotation, and I want to print hash sign over here and the value of a. So let me save the program first. manip1.cpp. Now see the output. The 5 numbers for hash and 15.86 is the next 5 numbers. See now what happens, how many width we have put it, 10. So 10 space will be printed. Then how many numbers we want to print, that is 5 numbers. 1, 2, point is also counted, so 3, 4 and 5. So 5 numbers will be printed. So it will remove 5 space and instead of 5 space it will print 0.86. Now see how many precisions we have taken over here, 3. So after point we want to print 3 precisions, but if you put 0 over here, there is no effect regarding that. So it will not print 0 over here, and instead of 5 space it will print hash sign. 5 hash will be printed using setfill function. So in this way you can also use manipulators. Now see what is the difference between manipulator and normal functions. Normal function you can use in this way, cout dot width of 10, and manipulators can be used using double less than operator, and you can set you can use function set w, set precision and set fill. Instead of that, in our previous program we have used set cout dot precision and cout dot fill. So whatever the way you want to use, that can be used. Over sign we have used hash sign. So either this way or this way, both can be possible, but this is called manipulators, which gives the facility to use any function with double less than. And if you want to refer your program using this way, at that time you need to use point sign, and with the point you can use different functions like width, precision or fill. This can be possible within single line. So but when you want to use set w, set precision or set fill function, at that time you compulsory need to include iomanip.h, otherwise you are not able to use such kind of function. So in our today's session we have completed the programs which are related with the formatted IO operations. In our next video we are going to study unformatted IO operations, which we always performed in our previous sessions also, that we will continue. Let me share the notepad file for the formatted I/O. This is the first program which represents formatted input output. Let me share the second program which is related with the formatted I/O. This is the second program, cout.precision. The third program is about cout.fill. You need to write output for all the programs. Next is called formatted I/O, setf and unsetf. And last program is related with the manipulators, setw, setprecision and setfill. And don't forget to put header file over here, that is iomanip.h. One more thing I want to show you, that in this particular table we can use as a base field, instead of hexacode we can use octal or we can use decimal. So this is a code when you work with the base field. So you can refer, I will share the this doc file with the group so that you can refer different kinds of fields and the different types of parameters which can be applied with that field. But right now we have already taken the example of iOS base field, and over here we have taken example of iOS hexacode. So this is all from my side. This is more than enough for our today's session. In our next session we are going to learn unformatted I/O operations, and we will complete this particular unit, that is unit number 4. Thank you all.